Good morning to you. You're welcome to Science World on Unilag 103.1 FM. Science World is your weekly dive into the wonders of science and technology and how they shape our daily lives. My name is Adeola Adegoke. You're welcome. Today, we want to talk on an issue that affects almost every aspect of our lives. Not really affect, but it's something that everybody is chewing in their mouth at the moment. So that's what we want to talk on the program today. As you all know, that technology has revolutionized the way we live, work, and even learn. From the invention of the wheel to the rise of the internet, technology has been a powerful force for progress. Therefore, with this advancement in artificial intelligence, which is AI, social media, and automation, many are asking, are we truly in control? Is technology shaping us more than we realize? And if we take a look at social media, for instance, it has connected people across the world globally. Somebody in Lagos is talking to someone in Tanzania, speaking with one in China, all of this. So, but it has also raised concerns about privacy, misinformation, and mental health. AI is making life easier by automating tasks, but it could also replace human jobs or even outthink us one day. So, in today's world, social media is more than just a way to stay connected. It's a major part of our social, economic, and even political lives, with the various platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube dominating the space, while big tech companies like Google, Apple, Meta, they control a significant portion of our digital experiences. Now, this is a good thing. Yes, technology has made life easier, but is the digital world we live in today really a perfect and better world? That is, all of these things that I have just summed up together is what we want to explore today on the program, looking at the power of AI in social media, the dominance of big tech, and even alternative platforms that are gaining popularity. To help us understand all of this, all this that I've spoken, the tech world, the social media aspect, I'm just a radio presenter, yes. But to help us navigate this discussion, to know better and get a good insight into the world of AI technology, like I said, this program Science World is your dive into the wonders of science and technology and how they shape our lives. So help us do better. We have a special guest in the studio this morning. But then, before I introduce my guests, I'll go on this break, and then when we come back, we go straight. I introduce my guests, and then we just go into our conversation, and we start from there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, you're welcome back. Yes, it's Science World on Unilag 103.1 FM. And as I say, we are discussing the future of AI and how machines will outsmart us in the future. That is what we're looking at. We're looking at the future of AI today and how these machines will outsmart us. So, are they truly tool for progress or potential threat to humanity? That's what we want to discuss on the program today. So, where do we draw the line in all of this? And then to help us understand all of these questions that is arising towards AI, looking at its future, and considering the fact that it might outsmart us, because a lot of people are scared that it's taking jobs. To help us understand all of this, I'll be introducing our guest, who is Magnus Okeke. He's a recruiter and YouTuber with over 10 years of experience in software reviews. He's passionate about tech. He enjoys traveling, investing, gaming, and even exploring the inner workings of technology. So, might I add that who else is better to give us insight into this world of tech that we're talking about today, other than Magnus Okeke himself? Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Adiola. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's just go straight into our conversation, because I know that there are a lot of questions bubbling here. But first, I want us to start from the existence of AI. People think if you ask some people, they'll tell you that, or probably just generally, if you ask me, let me use myself as an example. I would just tell you that probably it's just like a few years ago that AI started. But if you ask some tech people, tech guys, they'll tell you, oh, it's been in existence for a very long time. And I think yesterday in the news, yeah, it was mentioned that it was in 2015 or so, Elon Musk and this guy, they started creation of all these things, and I'm like 2015 really, because I tried to look back at where I was that year, and I'm like, I do not even know that something of this existed. So you being a tech enthusiast here now, let me ask you, so was AI in existence, like since when has it been in existence, and how did all of this all start? Because as at that time, I'm sure I won't be the only one saying that as at 2015 there's nothing like AI, but according to that news, it's been since then. So please help us confirm this. How long has it been in existence, and where did it all start from?
Okay, so AI has, it's funny because what we now know as AI has been teased in so many ways in the previous years.
Okay.
Even as far back as the 1960s. I know it's funny, right? But there have been organizations that have been working on autonomous system that you can pretty much use to do a bunch of things. Then over time, companies like OpenAI, which is the Elon Musk and Sam Altman and a bunch of other guys, they got together to build autonomous systems that can basically do a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Speaking of Elon Musk, we've had companies like also Tesla with their self-driving cars over the years. Way back in 2004, 2005, they were working on cars that can actually drive themselves. Now, these cars also had sensors, so it means that if they are going to hit someone or hit something, the sensors will basically stop them from doing that. So over time, they just kept developing what we now call AI to be able to make decisions for themselves, basically. And that's where we are right now. With OpenAI, I keep mentioning it because that's the one Elon Musk and his other partners were working on.
Yeah.
They wanted to work on a system that can basically provide answers to pretty much everything. Do math, do biology, chemistry, physics as well, without the help of a human being. So with OpenAI, it just really became a thing, or became really popular with ChatGPT, which we do know now. But way before ChatGPT, there was Tesla, self-driving cars. Way before even Tesla, there were platforms like Freshdesk, Zendesk. There are too many tools out there to mention that can basically allow you create responses for customers, for example, when they reach out to your company. Now, these tools were basically called I've forgotten the word for it now, but it's the CRM.
Okay.
Yeah, the CRM tools let you create automated responses to customers. So you wouldn't even need a customer support person to do that for you. So in my own experience using AI tools, I think that all of this really started for me with CRM tools, because I used to work with a bunch of companies as far back as like 2016, 2015, 2014, and they had tools that already let you create auto responses for customers. I think later when they had WhatsApp Business in 2018, it also became a thing with WhatsApp Business and also Instagram Business, where you can basically create an auto response to a customer, and then Meta also rolled out the Facebook chat feature that basically let you also create pre-filled responses for customers. So that was what we had. That was the closest to what we now know as AI. But over time, Elon Musk and these guys, the guys that set up OpenAI, decided, you know what, let's make it in a way that this thing would be able to actually reason by itself and then provide answers by itself. And that is exactly where we are now. So we started seeing these AI tools that are now springing up. We have ChatGPT now. We have other AI tools like that. So when it really became mainstream, or when it was being put in use, was basically this whole 2001, 2002, 2003, and then upwards. But before then, even, it was already being hinted. It was already being what's this thing they call when you can actually tell the future? It was already being prophesied. Exactly, that there is going to be a bunch of tools like that in the future that will be
Mm-hmm.
able to do things like that for us. So AIs have been around for a very long time, but again, the real case or real world use of these tools really became a thing, you know, in recent times, 2021, 2022, and then recently.
All right. Thank you very much for that explanation. That's like that's very okay. And now, you spoke quite a lot about, but then let's bring it back to Nigerians, because I think
Yeah.
that's where the bigger problem, or the real issue is coming from, is we Nigerians thinking that this AI is going to take our jobs, and this is what we want to. How can we, as Nigerian, understand the rising technology as Nigerians? How can we understand it? And in answering it, is like in the sense that you give us example of AI, which some of us don't know that it is AI
Okay.
as Nigerians.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so your first question was basically how can we
We
use this?
understand the rising of technology, this AI rising as Nigerians now. If other people in the world are seeing it in a way, there's a way Nigerians would want it brought to them to understand it. So how better can we understand it?
Okay. So first of all, it's really how we say it. First, we need to understand that it's one of those tools that is now on our smartphones. It's embedded in our daily lives, one way or another. And one of the ways to really understand it is to query it, right? If you have Siri on your phone, for example, if you have Apple Intelligence on your latest iPhone, if you have Gemini or Google Assistant on your phone, that is already AI in a sense. The Google Map, for example, as well, in a way that is already AI. So if you start saying it like that, that is just that tool that aids your ability to do things faster or better daily, then it's just easier to grow from there. And with Siri, for example, on an iPhone or on an Apple device, really, it's just you asking it questions and trying to understand how it works in general. There are some answers it will not provide, there are some answers that it will provide. So one of the ways to really understand it is to just ask it questions, and also understand that these are really AI tools. You don't need a special ID card or passport or anything to be able to use these tools. They're already on your phone and you can use them daily.
Thank you very much. Now, to the question which I know a lot of listeners out there are going to be expecting me to ask is, will AI, or rather can AI, take over humanity come decades or years from now? And what happens to we humans if such happen? A lot of people saying it is going to take our job.
So a funny answer to that is what would happen if AI takes over? We become lazy. We are going to become lazy because you basically have tools that are doing everything. And also, to answer the question, if AI is going to take our jobs, sadly, yes. There are some jobs that AI is going to or AIs are going to
take over.
Okay. There was a research that was published earlier this year. The research was basically about just work in general in the world, and of course how it's going to affect us. So this research explained, I shared it on LinkedIn, and I think I also shared it on Instagram as well. This research basically details the jobs out there that will basically go extinct in the coming years. The coming years meaning 2030. So one of them is virtual assistant, for example. There wouldn't really be a need for a virtual assistant in the coming years, because some of the things that a virtual assistant would do, these are things you can already do with tools these days. Yes, you wouldn't really need an assistant to maybe design something real quick, because you can easily just prompt even your Meta AI on WhatsApp and Instagram to just design an image with a cake or a duck or something, and basically design it easily. So one of those jobs is actually virtual assistant roles. There are a bunch of other jobs like that out there that are going to be replaced, but again, there are still some jobs that are not going to be replaced. One of them is roles in the agricultural sector. So I know it's probably ridiculous talking about it, but farmers are not going to be replaced anytime soon. It's funny.
Wow.
it's really funny, but um, farmers is one of those jobs that will not be replaced anytime soon. Also software engineers as well, because even if AI can code, in a lot of ways you're still going to need an engineer to be there to basically oversee things and monitor things and everything. So there are a lot of jobs out there that are going to be replaced, but at the same time these jobs also, you can easily tell when you look at them. If a job requires somebody to, again, design something or post something on social media, or just little things like that that you cannot do because you're busy and you need a virtual assistant for, those roles are going to be replaced. Sure.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's rather you out there, you need to start considering what job you're doing. So even if AI is going to take our jobs, but I think with your explanation now, you'd already made it clear that AI is not taking our jobs. It's not taking our jobs. It's just taking some jobs.
Yes.
And I think the virtual assistant is not something a lot of people do full time. It's like a side also for some people. So even if it takes those jobs, it's not going to be much on we humans, which I think that's assuring enough on the AI. So now let's look at one major concern of today on the use of AI, which is in line with social media, and that's privacy. So with this social media and digital tracking, do you think we are sacrificing our personal data without realizing it?
Yes, I think for this one, I think for a lot of people it's already too late in a sense, because a lot of the information we put out there on social media is what is being used to train AI, right? So if you tell it to generate an image or a video of Magnus talking, and you put my real name out there, you put maybe like a reference image out there that you found on social media, it will be able to perfectly generate that. So for a lot of people it's late, but thankfully there are regulations. Platforms like Meta, Google as well, are publicly traded companies. So because they are publicly traded, they cannot they have to avoid the risk of you using their tools to do something very, very deadly or dangerous. So in one hand, again, our data is already out there.
Yes.
In another hand, there are already regulations out there that basically make sure that it doesn't become extreme, basically, right? But at the same time, with the way AI is right now, it's very fresh. There are a lot of platforms out there that are still training AIs and using it to do all types of things.
Yes.
There's still that fear of harm that somebody can actually pick up the phone right now, pick up my voice, and then create something with my voice that would be able to even call my parents and ask them for money, because they got my voice on social media, right? So again, it's on one hand it's really, really late, because these regulations that they are even putting out there are not even tight, right? The new president, Trump, his administration is also not really focused on regulating AI heavily right now, because he's giving everyone the freedom to create and really do a lot of things with AI. So it's a lot of testing, a lot of experimenting, a lot of danger as well. Eventually the laws on AI would have to be really, really tightened. But again, at the same time, whatever is being done with AI right now is still very, very, I don't want to use the word secretive, but a lot of people, the bad actors who are going to be using AI to do things that are not right or legal, they are really, really doing it in secret at the moment. That's why, like, you see stories online about how somebody actually is able to sound like somebody else or clone their voice like somebody else, and everyone is okay with that. So we are seeing the dangers now, but at the same time, these companies are trying to make sure that it's not used for something heavily bad. In a sense, you can sound like Drake in a song, you can
All right, yes, you're welcome back. It's still Science World on Unilag 103.1 FM. And so far, we've been discussing the future of AI and how machines will outsmart us in the future. So, talking about the future now let's go into the future. But before then, there's something that was online. That's the New York Times. They had people. They were some persons were asking people questions on the street outside about AI, and one of the questions got to me, and I'm like, okay, let's ask. And the question is, was the question they asked was, do you think AI is hyped, or AI is overblown, or are we underrating its trajectory? What do you have to say about this?
So that's a very good question, actually. Hyped? No. Are we underrating the trajectory of AI in general? Yes, I think we are. There are like a lot of things that people are doing with AI out there right now. There are a lot of calculations that usually you wouldn't be able to do easily that AI is doing right now. So I think we're actually underrating um, how big this thing is really. There are a lot of sectors that are fast, like really changing fast because of AI right now. But a lot of us are very, should I say, averse to just tech and computer in general, that we don't want to have a hand in the whole day-to-day thing when it comes to just the application of it. Some of us even turn off our locations and the AI tools on our phones because we don't really want to be there. But it's happening. It's happening. It's like the dot-com bubble in the early 2000s, where there were like domain names and websites were popping up here and there. Now everybody has a website. Everybody has a blog.
Yes.
You know, that is how AI is now. There are a lot of people building AIs. There are a lot of people building a lot of things with AI. Language translation, photo enhancement, video editing, image editing, faster calculations, automations to spreadsheets. You can import a huge number of information from one spreadsheet to another, from one document to another. You can take a picture of something and ask AI to translate it to sound, ask AI to translate it to, like, it's just, there are a lot of things going on on platforms like, apart from the the New York Times, on platforms like producthunt.com. It just lists a bunch of products that are coming out these days, and if you check daily, you see that over a dozen of these products are actually AI. There is an AI that does research for you. There's an AI that does this for you. There's
Wow.
So yeah, I think we are really underestimating how far people are going and how far we can go with AI. But again, it calls for concern at this point. Really, it needs to be more regulated than it is. Yeah.
More regulated than it is now. Looking at the regulation that you just mentioned now, with this digital addiction now, and this is making me make example of our African parents. For, I believe, if you had lived with your parent, they might have made that statement to you, or rather they have even made the statement to you, because for people in the tech space, and most of them don't really get to go to physical office. If it's not hybrid, it is fully remote. So most parents would be like, it is this phone you are pressing since it is this system that you are pressing since, allow this system rest, allow this. So yeah, and that's multiplied into people saying, I'm addicted to my phone, I'm addicted to social media, I'm addicted to this. Now with the rise of this digital addiction, now how can people create a healthy balance between using technology and living in the real world? Because more like, some people are already just living on their system, they don't go away from their system.
Yeah. So for the younger people, 18 and below, or 16 and below, for parents, I would basically advise just not letting them spend too much time with these devices, right? Maybe after school you can just give it to them to use for a while, and then take it away from them. If you give it to them all the time and they have to use it every day, it messes with their attention span, right? This is a different subject, a different topic on its own. For the older people, I think it's just really consciously minimizing the ways that, or the amount of time you spend with these products. for Android devices, there is focus mode, right? For social media tools like Instagram, there is the whole time thing where it basically shows you your usage, how long or how much you've used your WhatsApp and even Instagram, this week. So it's really just making a conscious effort to tell yourself, you know what, between this time and this time every day, I will not be using my device. Also, you don't necessarily have to be active on every social media platform out there. Even if you're a creator, you can basically schedule things ahead of time. This is something I also advise people to do: schedule. Instead of spending a lot of time using these tools and products, make time to actually schedule things ahead of time and let it just post and go out there, and you don't have to be on your phone all the time, really. And then lastly, you need to understand yourself to an extent where you know that this thing is affecting you one way or another. Is using your mobile phone or smartphone affecting your attention span? Do you think that you don't sleep well or sleep enough because you spend a lot of time on your phone before bed? Do you think that you don't do much at work because you're always on your phone? Like, you really need to pay attention to yourself and be honest with yourself. That's where the real work begins. If you feel like you're getting addicted or you're about to get addicted, you need to consciously tell yourself, oh, this is where I am with this whole thing, and I need to slow down, I need to calm down. So it's really that making a conscious effort to just disconnect and not use it. And again, for most of us, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Like, our phone, our smart devices are basically our companion these days. Like, we want.
That's very true.
Yeah,
so it's easy
to,
for you to just shut people out once you have your phone.
Exactly. But you start to see the damage and the effects later on. There are some people who cannot spend 24 hours without their phones. Like, they would lose their minds if they have to do that, right? So it's really making a conscious effort to not, because there's really nothing else apart from just admitting that it's a problem for you. There's really nothing else you can do. You can't go on from there if you don't admit that you're spending too much time. I don't want to mention the platform, but there is a platform that I spend a lot of time on before. I had to turn off notifications for it, and then I got too busy with work, so I didn't really have to check every day.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, so before I start asking to go to the last question, let me just quickly ask this so you quickly answer us on that. And that's because this is a campus radio. So yes, so how can students now, I would really want you to like quickly just take us through how student can leverage AI, how student can leverage on AI, student, worker, parent, even artisans, for everything. So, we can start learning before they steal our jobs. Or do we need to learn coding too? Or which one? How can we just quickly bridge that gap?
Okay, so if I understand you, the question is, how do we tap into just leveraging on AI to better our future in terms of
work? And so they don't steal our jobs.
Yeah, so I think every year you should pay attention to platforms like the New York Times, and also maybe if you have time, just Google the Future of Work report, and you see the PDF document or you see the website. So the Future of Jobs or the Future of Works report, I can't remember which one. I think it's the Future of Jobs report. If you Google it, it shows you the jobs out there that are going extinct in the coming years and the jobs out there that are being added. For example, AI prompter is now a thing. Like, people who use AI daily to basically get answers for things, it's now a thing, right? And for some reason, I think that's where the world is going instead of virtual assistant. So it's really, really you checking out the Future of Work report and seeing what jobs are going extinct and what jobs are not. And then from there, if you now see something that you're interested in or you think you might be interested in, then you can go on learning platforms like YouTube and Udemy to take courses on these things and basically learn about that particular course. So for example, product management. If you check the Future of Work report and you see that product management is going to be a big deal in the next 5-10 years still, just go on these platforms that you can learn things and already start learning to become a product manager, right? Another thing I would also advise is to not waste too much time with the courses. If you start taking a course and after 2 hours or 1 hour and you see that yeah, this is not really your thing or what you want to go into, it's okay to drop that course, right? It's very much okay to actually leave it. It's one of the things I also advise people, because a lot of people are trying to get into tech, but they don't know where to get in from, right? So I first of all say check the future of work report, see jobs that are going to be hot cake in the future, right? Some will require coding, some will not require coding. So check that report. After you check the future of jobs report, then go online and start taking courses on them. Just go online on YouTube or any other platform where you learn something, and just say, what do product managers do, what do these people do. You can also use these AI tools, and this is where they come in handy, by the way. There's the Meta AI, there's ChatGPT, there's Gemini as well. Query them, ask them questions like, what do product managers do? How can I become a product manager? Then you're going to see some answers and some responses there. And from there, you can basically go on and just grow from there. And also, one of the excuses some people make is that they don't really have time to get into the whole learning phase of these things. But I think that we overthink it. We think of paying some school out there to fully become that thing or do that thing. But I am telling you now that you don't have to pay some school online to learn to become something, right? I did learn product management. When I first started, it was basically a training. I basically started taking courses on things online. I've learned, stock investing as well. It was online. I learned it. I didn't go to any special school. When it comes to school, I did 2 years in school, computer science, and after 2 years I left, right? And I had to leave because we couldn't afford it at the time. So again, it was just learning things online that I was able to get to this point where I'm like, oh, I know a thing or two about this, and about this. So you need to make time, pick up your phone to learn things. Really.
All right, thank you. Now to the final question, and I'm going to be merging like 2 questions together, which I would want you to quickly answer because of our time. Now, what does the future of social media and digital technology, what does it look like? And is the digital world we are building truly the best version of society?
Yes. So what does the future look like? The future is a lot of danger and a lot of regulation. The Cambridge Analytica situation that happened in 2017, where a lot of people's data were taken from Facebook, really opened Facebook's eyes to a lot of things. And even the CEO of Facebook, who is Mark Zuckerberg, was called to Congress to testify, and all of that. We're still going to have a situation like that where your data on these social media platforms are going to be used for different things. So it's a lot of danger. So we're going to have that situation where a lot of people's information will be used for something and it will leak out there, and again, a lot of danger. And then the world will wake up and decide, you know what, we need to regulate this thing. We need to remove AI from this thing. We need to stop AI from doing this and all of that. So the future is basically a lot of regulations and a lot of danger. But at the same time, it depends on the country you are in as well. Some countries will also do this thing where they will regulate what we call free speech. Some presidents will say that if you if you say something on social media, it can be used against it. So it's a lot of regulation, because human beings tend to get scared of the dangers of this thing, so they will regulate it eventually. Now, the second question,
that is the digital world we are building truly the best version of society?
I don't know anymore. I don't know again. Because before I would say yes, it was in a sense that a lot of the things that we see on social media these days, it's not like it wasn't happening before, right? But the digital world is now putting some light on it. Like, you can basically see some dangers in public these days and pull out your phone and record it. It's on the internet, and then the person who is perpetrating the danger is exposed. So the digital world made it possible for us to shine torchlight on a lot of things, basically.
Very well.
But
at the same time, what it did during election.
Exactly. There is a lot of things that the digital world has helped with. There are also places that you can't really go to right now with your 2 legs, but you can basically pilot a drone to go to and just pick up information and a lot of that. So it has made a lot of things easier, but at the same time That's why I said I don't know again. The danger is out there. It's all looking at us in the face. There is going to be a lot of danger with the digital world. Still, there are a lot of people who will go out there and tell you to do this. You know, there are a lot of people who will sell some information they are not supposed to sell. There are a lot of people who would, you know, cause a lot of self-harm on social, like it's a lot of things. We can't even start to talk about them here. So for that one, I think it's 50-50. It's exposing a lot of things, but at the same time it's putting us in danger, you know, a lot.
So you cannot say if it's the best version.
Yes, I can't say so. A lot of things still need to be regulated.
Okay, all right, that's great. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's episode on Science World. A big thank you to Magnus for coming, and it's so enlightening with everything you shared with us on the program this morning. Thank you so much for sharing such valuable insights.
Thank you for having me.
And a big thanks to you, my dear listener out there, for tuning in. And remember that what technology should work for us, not control us. Stay informed, stay curious. Till next time, stay safe and be good.